Henrik, yesterday I heard you and your musician friend doing some lovely environmental stories with nature woven into some classical fairy tales. And today you are going to have a workshop.
Yeah.
What is the theme for this workshop?
Well, you can call it the ecology of storytelling. And the name is two-dimensional. One is about the ecology of storytelling, how storytelling, ecology is about how everything is interwoven.
Yeah.
And the ecology of storytelling, it is about how storytelling weaves the world together and connecting different facts into a wholeness. So that is one part of the ecology of storytelling.
Okay.
And the other part is that searching for storytelling that can inspire us and engage us to work and for a sustainable future and to get a more intimate contact with nature. And I think that storytelling has many unique gifts to give us here, actually. And I also think that fairy tales, they are inherently animistic.
Okay.
That the way I define animism is that it is a way to relate to the world as persons, as inhabited by persons that are not just humans.
Okay.
And if you find this all over the world, in all the tales all over the world, you find this animistic attitude towards the world. And I think actually that we will need that kind of thinking and kind of relating to nature as relating to different persons. And in the workshop we will do many different practices.
Yeah.
How to get nature more into our stories. And we will go out with a story that we have and walk out in nature or in the parks and get inspired by what our senses tell us. When we tell our story for ourselves, we maybe see the breeze in the leaves. We then take in this into the story and try to make this experience alive in the story. We also see how we can make animal stories and use science facts. And when you have animal stories, you can observe the animals. How do they move? You can read about the animals and you can study the animals, and then you can integrate it into a story. So it's not just a funny story, but you're actually learning very much about the animal also.
Okay.
And actually, I think the most important is to learn to see where can I find this kind of stories. So you can, what kind of stories are ecological stories, for example? And you can, there are many different stories you can take from your personal life in nature. You can have persons who have really been engaged in working for environment, like biographies, and you can work with them and so on. But if I would give some advice, it would be one is that try to make your stories place-based and try to do them outside in the environment, and try to also create new stories in the environment. If you see this tree, you can think about if this was a person you met on the road, what kind of person would it be? What personality, and so on. And then you can start to create stories in the landscape, storyscapes. And I think that is a wonderful way to connect to the landscapes. You can also use it to train people in walking through the woods, not getting lost with these storylines in the landscapes. Because when you make stories about trees and cliffs in the landscapes, you also remember the landscapes. So that can be a training when you're walking out in the woods. Try to do some stories along the path, and then you'll go back and see if you can go the exactly same way with the story. It's a beautiful way to come into contact with the landscape, and also to involve your ability to make stories connected to the landscape.
So, what you do if you live in a big city? Is there an ecology in Stockholm that you would be able to tell about or use?
Yes, I think that sometimes we try to do a kind of separation between nature over there and then the human citizen, the built environment over here.
Yeah.
And we think that this is two different worlds, but actually ecology is about the interconnectedness of everything.
Yeah.
And of course, our lives in the cities, we maybe think that we are, because we live in this city and we have these plastic bags and we have the cars and so, that we are independent from nature. But of course, everything is interwoven into an ecological whole.
Yeah.
And you can see that. And also you can see the wild, even in the cities, you can see the non-human beings everywhere in the city also. So that can be a very interesting thing to see how the city and the life in the city is interwoven into this interconnectedness. You can just follow, you can start in the city and see our water, that we take this tap and it comes water. If you just follow it a bit, of course it leads into nature. Everything we do, the built environment, from stones, where does it come from? You just have to seek the story behind the city, and then you get into nature.